This video we're going to be talking about communication and how it operates, because it seems that though we do it all the time, most people, if not almost everyone, seem to have the wrong idea, or at least not really get how it operates. And we're going to speak to two primary principles of time mechanics. One, that we are constantly communicating. We're communicating with ourselves, with each other. The world is communicating with us, and vice versa. All the time we are consistently informing and being informed in manners that cause for us to manipulate values in play and cause resulting experiences. And again, many of us are unaware as to how this actually functions. B, the second principle here, the second article, is that time is in fact moving in reverse, that we witness things inverted. Our perception of time moves backwards, and this is because we are a reflection of it. Now, spiritual communities and such, metaphysical communities, just about everybody will say that we are a reflection, that the world is a reflection of us. And this is going to be a universal article of understanding. This is a subject matter that's going to pop up frequently in this field, is that, the world is a reflection of you, that we are reflections of the greater, being, a God entity, if you want to say that. I like to use that term. It makes sense to me. I like it. Everybody knows, or at least has an idea of what it's supposed to mean, so it's easily accessible, and it can be utilized to get to the actual meaning behind it more easily than using something other than the word God. So, in any case, this idea of reflection, of mirroring, of being a reflection, it's not just like a concept or an ideal for spiritual communities, or some kind of a philosophical theme or theory. It's actually a practical functionality in the world. Again, because we are witnessing things in reverse. We are witnessing things as a reflection because we are a reflection of the world, and vice versa. Everything is reflecting, so we are actually witnessing it happening backwards. Now, an example I can give of this, one of the best examples to speak to how both articles, how we are communicating consistently and how we are witnessing communications in reverse, is body posturing and essentially neuro-linguistic programming, which, if you're, in case you don't know, is a branch of education, an educational practice really, that we have effectively acquired as a branch of time mechanics. So NLP people out there, you belong to us now. The initiative has acquired you. In any case, one of the biggest themes in that branch is going to be body posturing. And you, whether you know it or not, you're constantly communicating, you're constantly informing people around you as to your general state of being, really, through your body posturing. And there's two primary stances really you can take with this posturing. There are many different ways you can posture yourself that are going to relate certain things, communicate certain things, most especially to spotters who know how to read body language. But to anyone really, the human brain picks up on this. You look at somebody and you get a feeling, you get an instinct about them. That's your brain reading their communication. That instinct you get. It's not just like a gut feeling. Your brain is interpreting what they're communicating to you, and you are receiving that information in the form of intuition. So, the two primary stances that people take is going to be what they call an alpha stance, or a standing posture, which is like a good example of how to put this into practical use. The alpha posture is that, when you're in a group of people, somebody's going to take, especially males, somebody's going to be taking an alpha posture, which is usually wide open and straightforward. And for spotters, this is particularly practical because, if you're negotiating with a group of people, you look for that person who has the alpha posture, because you know that that's the person that you're going to need to be dealing with directly. And it goes also the person you're going to want to be paying the most respect to, because there's like a trickle down effect due to the values that are in play, such as the state of things, that there's kind of like a pyramid scheme where how you treat this person is going to relate to the rest of the group, and they're going to relate to you. The feedback you're going to get from this group is based on how you relate to this one person, and the respect that you do in fact garner from him or her, but usually him with the alpha posture is going to be the alpha male, as it were. But that's a tip for spotters. If you're dealing with groups, deal with the alpha. You should know that. It's fucking common sense, really. But this standing posture is one of the two primary postures. The other primary posture is resting posture, which is like when you lean up against things, you cross your legs, you fold your arms. That posture shows weakness. And it's not just like weakness of character or weakness of attitude because you're like being careless toward the situation, the kind of person that hangs out in the corner and folds their arms. And a lot of people develop a habit of doing this, which is even worse, and we'll get to why. But it shows actual weakness. It shows it's telling of weakness in body, mind, and spirit. Because obviously you have a weak attitude towards a situation, a careless sort of an attitude. B, it shows that your body is weak. You rest, you fold your arms, you cross your legs, you lean up against things because you need to rest your body, because it is weak, because you do not have the strength to hold yourself up properly. And it's telling of that. And obviously, if you're doing it, the very fact that you're doing it communicates that you don't really know what you're doing. So again, body, mind, spirit hits all three, and it's telling of weakness in all of them. Now, what people don't realize is that this is not actually happening because you're weak, and so you're responding to it. You think that you're responding to things by you're going to lean up against the wall to rest yourself and fold your arms or what have you, because you have a general lack of energy or a lack of enthusiasm. You are actually informing yourself to be that. You're exacerbating the situation by responding to it in that manner. If you remind yourself to hold a standing posture, if you consistently remind yourself to stand up straight, don't cross your arms, don't cross your legs, don't rest your body, hold it up, and you develop a habit of that after a little while, the feedback you're going to get, because you are communicating with your body through your mind to your spirit, you're going to get the feedback of strength. It's going to resound in strength, and this is how exercise works, really, but on a smaller scale at a faster pace. This is a quantum exercise, you could say. Hold a standing posture. Consistently remind yourself not to take a resting posture. Always hold a standing posture, and after a very little while, it could happen within a day's worth of time, if you're moving fast enough, you're going to get the resounding feedback of strength and vitality. You're going to be stronger. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to have more enthusiasm. You're going to be faster, sharper, stronger, because you are telling yourself to be. You are informing yourself. What happens when you take that resting posture and you develop the habit of taking that resting posture is essentially that your body you're lacking enthusiasm with the situation. You don't care enough. You're being careless toward your situation, and your body is responding by telling you, this sucks. I'm weak. I don't feel good about this. Your body tells your mind, is communicating to your mind that it's weak, fatigued, that it doesn't feel up to it, and you're buying it. You believe it. The body is telling you to be weak, and you're believing it. And so it bounces off of your spirit, and the feedback you get is an exacerbation of fatigue and weakness. You get weaker by being weak, by acting weak. The way that you act, people think that that you should be acting in response. But that's not the case. You're not acting in response to a situation that's presented to you. The way that you act creates the situation. The way that you present yourself is going to resound in the resulting feedback. The resulting experience is based on how you treat the scenario. And so fundamentally, what's What's proposed here is alter the manner in which you negotiate with the world. That's one simple exercise you can do, and this branches out into everything. Every single thing that you do is a communication in this regard, in this same kind of a way. It determines how you experience the world and how you feel about it. You think that you think that you're reacting, but really you are creating. Again, it's another reflection principle or property that you can see right there in the word. In the very word, it's written out to you. It's a message from the world telling you. The word create and the word react. Creation, reaction. You just flip two letters, and it's the same word with the two letters flip. It's a reflection, and it determines how you experience your entire life. Everything that you do, every feeling you get is determined by whether you are creating or reacting. And the more that you create, the more that you present yourself in a way and experience the resounding feedback from the world, instead of reacting to the feedback that you're getting and continuing to make the situation worse and worse. If you change the way that you react into a creation process, the more that you do it, the stronger that will get, the more you exercise your ability to create. Action, taking action, is one of the three tools that you have at your disposal. We've already spoken to speech, language as a tool for creation. Action, the way that you behave, your behavior. Language and behavior, those are two of the three primary tools you have for creating experience. So I think that's about all I wanted to say, but that's a beautiful example as to how you are reflecting and experiencing things, essentially observing, perceiving experience backwards. So alter that. You can gain a lot of ground by being in a forward position rather than moving in reverse, looking behind you, and again, this is obviously that's going to, fall into other realms of interest, such as behaving as though you're in the past by consistently thinking about things that have happened and reacting to those, consistently behaving in a manner that represents or recreates the way that you've experienced things before, instead of taking action now, which was proposed in the last video where we spoke about artifacts in regard to causality. Artifacts are everywhere. Artifacts of your previous or prior incarnation, artifacts of your previous self and the way that you've been in the past, the things you've experienced before this, values in play that no longer apply to the situation, but you hold on to them and you continue to make use of them to further the problems that you have. And this really is the only problem that we do have as a species, as a whole, as a single unit, is holding on to the problems we have had. And because of this, we run into new problems that we are manifesting by essentially holding on to something that sucks and is chaining us down and walking backwards into a wall. You need to snap to, wake up, drop the toys, turn around, look forward. And that's it. That's regarding reflection. Thank you for your time. I'll be back shortly. Kila Salai Teruni Siari Namaste.